skirts, remember? Yeah. She wore them, remember? That little room on the first floor, right inside the door, and she would come to class, and she would sit on the front of her desk, not stand behind it, with her miniskirt on, across her legs. And sometimes she would uncross her legs. And so there was a race at the beginning of German class to get to the front chair. And you know who almost always won the race? He's not here to defend himself, so I'll tell the story. It was Chuck Carter. Chuck was a year older than us, and things were happening to his body that weren't happening to some of our bodies. So one day Marie's sitting on the front of her desk, and for quite a long time, Chuck's in the front desk, and he's... She goes around and she puts a sentence in German on the board and says, I want somebody to come up here and diagram this sentence. Chuck, you come up here. Chuck goes, nope. Chuck, nope. Somebody else sign that sentence, not Chuck. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
You told me I could only use certain stories, so I was trying not to go into the details. I knew those who knew would get it.
This is the time when some of you may have some reminiscences you would like to share. Jolene wrote an entire class newspaper at the end of the senior year. She probably remembers writing 50 stories. Jolene, you got anything you'd like to share with the group?
No, but that was the last year for the paper yearbook. Then the very next year they got those nice bound ones, you know. Yeah, we had to go down to DJ's mess down there with that printing press, you know, and the ink flying all over. You wrote a lot of them too, though, Jim.
Between us, we wrote the whole damn thing.
Yeah, we did. We did. We did.
At the beginning of my professional journalism career, Michelle Clement was assigned to write a story, and she didn't write. I charged her $5 to write her story. Before I ask Jim Goffin to come up here and tell us about the parade in the morning, who else has some things they'd like to share? Sterling.
I married into this class, but I have a story about this gentleman right here. When I moved into town to start the 8th grade, I lived up here in their old house. We built it. And so we shared an alley. And in the lower part of the alley, Mom planted strawberries. Now I came in off the farm, and here's a city slip, you know, so she gave me a wheelbarrow. I went down to the stockyards and got a load of manure. And I'm coming up with that. And Dean says, what do you have in there? And I said, I've got some manure. He said, what are you going to do with it? I said, we're going to put it on the strawberries. He said, you should eat art. You put whipped cream on it.
Couldn't have a better neighbor.
Wes?
Well, there he is, Wes Edward.
Who else wants to share some memories from our
Dean,
years in high
did you
school?
have a teepee?
I did. That was after high school.
Yeah, I always say I remember that teepee because my oldest son is kind of a what do you call it? Maverick. And I always say,
I've known a couple
you
of those
can
guys.
have a teepee just like Dean Schroeder.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I set an example for somebody.
I said he had a teepee down where my dad's garden was. That's where that teepee was.
Yeah, the old slaughterhouse.
Yep, down by the slaughterhouse.
Like I missed
Mike?
that on my list. We had 2 slaughterhouses.
I wasn't going to say a word. We have to sneak out. Blaine's mom probably is wondering where the world we are. We said we'd be gone an hour. I thank you for including us, or including me. Probably some of the best years of my life were spent in Hettinger, and really do appreciate being able to be invited to this. I'm invited to the class reunion where I graduated, and I really don't know anybody there. Because when I moved, I became ill for 6 months. And so then, in the state of South Dakota, you had to go to school so many days before you could be moved on to the next class, and I didn't qualify. So then some teachers came over during the summer and helped me out, so I was able to stick with 65 graduation. But we really are glad to be invited. And one thing I was going to ask Dean Shorter, do you remember the mopeds?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yeah, it wasn't enough to get around that foot and get into a little bit of trouble. Those days, you got a lot.
Was there a policeman in town by the name of Cheatham?
Yes.
I do remember on a date that I ran into the back end of his police car. And that was awfully hard to explain. Thanks again for including us.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike Lee, because Mike and I were friends when we were little kids and we left Kansas. And if he'd have stayed here, I would have made the pastor's stay for long before it took this long to get here. I'd have been here legitimately, and Harvey would be with the Rolling Stones. I want to say it's good.
Yeah. Elton and I don't live too far apart. And in case you don't know what I'm doing, I think where's Jim? There he is. Is that included what I'm doing now down in Rapid City? We have a ministry to pastors and missionaries that are going through difficult times. And so we invite them to come and stay with us. We have a guest house where they can stay free of charge. And then just as we sat down here, Elton said he's going to be making a trip to Mayo. And probably it's a little embarrassing, but would you mind if I prayed for him right now? Because he has some serious heart issues. Do any of the rest of you have a prayer need of any kind that you're facing right now? Let's just bow in the name of Christ. Father in heaven, it's a great blessing to be reunited with friends. And it's a great blessing to see how things have changed, and thank you for the changes in my own life. And I thank you, dear Heavenly Father, that there isn't anything that we face in life but what you are concerned about. And I do pray now as Elton goes in for some further work at Mayo, for heart needs, that you would just rest your hand upon him. We would ask for a miracle, Lord, on his behalf. That you would keep him here, to enjoy his family, and to continue to be a real joy to our hearts. Thank you for this evening in Christ's name. Amen. Amen.
Jim, you want to talk about the parade?
Can I just finish?
Yes, Elton, go ahead.
I think that for Richard Branson looked like this. Nobody knows who Richard Branson is. Oh, yeah. I do want to say that after visiting with everyone tonight, I should find out that pretty much the consensus is after our generation is gone, the world's going to hell. And I promise you, I heard that about 5 times. I don't have a lot of stories to tell for myself. But when I went in the Navy, I wrote down all the things that I had been a part of. And because of that, I could not get a security clearance. I went in to see this Navy chief, and he said, well, did you do all these things? And I said, yeah, but I was never convicted of anything. I was always kind of a jailhouse lawyer, but he said, well, you did, so you're not getting a security clearance. So 25 years later, I received an appointment, a federal appointment, and I had to have a top secret security clearance. I thought, no way, I'm not going to get this security clearance. Because for 3 months, they sent FBI agents to Hettinger all over. I had to give them 40 names, but but they took the first 5 and they asked them for more names. But anyway, it comes down to the time that I'm supposed to be appearing at these hearings, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to get this security. But I went in, I got a call from the White House counsel, so I went over to see the White House counsel, and I told her, I said, I'm afraid there's going to be a problem. And I said, because of what I did in high school. And she said, don't worry, we gave you time off for 25 years of good behavior.
Jim, you want to talk about the parade?
Yeah, quickly, I see there are some people that think it's wanting to stop by and visit, but we're going to meet at 10 o'clock or between 10 and 10:30. Got to have the pickup, kind of in the parade line. It's going to organize on 6th Avenue, 6th Avenue North. So that's the street that runs from Main Street over to the Airport Road. And we don't have assigned numbers or anything like that. We'll board the float there, and Bill's got his pickup. We'll have hopefully enough room for everybody who wants to ride. And I think Jim's brought some. You're going to throw something?
Here. You seen all the beer we got over here?
Okay, so I hope everyone can make it. Then I think after supper or dinner, I should say, everyone's kind of free to do what they wish for dinner tomorrow. But they'll have free dinner down here for those who want to come down here, or they could, I know at Scruffy's, they have kind of a limited venue tomorrow, but all of those proceeds will be going to the MRI building hospital. So it's a contribution, special contribution on their part for the MRI. So we'll hope to see everybody around and we'll meet at Forest Ones. Even if they stay in, is he staying in that same?
Yes.
Okay, so they're in
Yeah, right. Meet my garage. We're going to have a cake. This we can't make it in there. It will be cold and all that.
yeah. So that'll be after lunch, after dinner sometime, 1:30, Pacific time.
I spent the whole morning cleaning that garage. You checked it.
You guys all, Bill and Colleen are having us over to their house in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
that's where I'm standing.
And you all know where the place is. It's behind the Corsmo Apartments. So all of you guys who dated Carol Erdman in high school know where the Corsmo Apartments are. All right? It's right behind there. So there'll be a bunch of us there. Anybody else have a few things they want to share?
I would just like
Don't be
to
shy.
say one thing
Yeah.
on Mrs. Stahl, because as some of you know, Mrs. Stahl just passed away at 103. And she
Mrs.
was
Stahl.
a great teacher and had a big impact on my life. And I would call on her. She was at West Hills Village, and until a few years ago, anyway, I would tell her about how she used to slap me. And Mrs. Stahl. And Mrs. Stahl told me, she said, I can't do that. But when I still had hair like Jim and grill cream, and
He's showing off.
Go like this, and slap me right across the glasses. There were no spring-loaded glasses. And she denied it. She admitted it too. She absolutely did not believe she. But I'll tell you, it worked on me.
The address of the house is 306 South 11th Street.
I never had.
South 11th Street?
Okay. Colleen just told me the address of the party tomorrow afternoon is 306 South 11th Street. I'm sure you're all going to remember that. Repeat after me. 306 South 11th Street. Now you'll get it.
In the alley, yeah. The secret code when you knock on the door.
About a year ago, most of us got a letter in the mail from Sharon Carroll Larson, who said we ought to have a class reunion. And she took the bull by the horns and without any prompting from anybody, just sent a letter to everybody.
Actually, it was Sheila and Georgette and Betty and Carol and I were at Sheila's house a couple summers ago, and the four of them said, "Okay, you're in charge." I said, "Why?" I was never in charge of anything. But it was fun.
The result was that a bunch of us got together, and I want you to just give a round of applause and thanks to the committee that did this whole thing. It was Sharon, Bill Gelbert, John Sitma, Sheila Olson Novak, Carol Lindquist, Diane Severson Wolf, Jim Gofflin, Don Sitma, and myself. So thank that group for putting all this together. Last thing, we invested a bunch of money in a bar, and it's just sitting there, and it's got to get drinks. When nobody leaves, then those bottles are empty, all right? Please help yourself to soft drinks and wine and mixed drinks, and if you don't mind,